Aleister Crowley was a well-known member of the group Ordo Templi Orientis, or the Order of the Temple of the East, which closely resembled the Freemasons and the Masonic Lodge until Aleister joined. He led the association in a different direction, which adopted Thelema as the core principle. The Book of the Law communicated two of Crowley's best-known verses, which are still used quite frequently even today. First, the groundwork for his belief and theology was laid with a simple phrase: "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Love is the law, love under will. This is cited quite regularly by those practitioners of all magical arts. He was never quick to dismiss anyone's ideas or beliefs without first evaluating and contrasting the belief compared to his very own. Aleister was always fascinated with lines and angles and voids created by an enclosed symbol, especially the unicursal creation. Aleister's unicursal hexagram is a star that can be drawn in one continuous line without stopping the flow. Geometric shapes were often drawn by Crowley to illustrate his projections occurring in astral travels. He believed reason was shielded by logic, and by understanding motivation, one could clearly look deep within the logical progression of magic. Transitional logic and cognitive modeling were paramount to understanding the results of magical rituals, and by disseminating the logic relationships, one could change the variables to estimate the results of a ritual, having slightly changed the inputs and the elements. The idea was revolutionary for its time, and the general population was too critical of Crowley to even seriously consider the possibility that he might very well have a theorem that was truly brilliant. He did not help his cause when the press ran articles about his magical escapades, including homosexual encounters, spells and hexes, animal sacrifice, and a report revealing that Aleister had eaten his own feces as well as the feces of others in his ritual group. Reports of killing animals during sexual intercourse did not help his cause at all. Aleister was also an avid astrologer, and he studied astrology almost as in-depth as magic. Evangeline Adams was one of the most important influences on the development of American astrology, and Crowley developed a relationship with Adams that was based upon their mutual passion of studying the stars and the planets. The two would collaborate on articles, papers, and books about astrological aspects and the relationship of celestial bodies and planetary orbits. Crowley also used many astrological illustrations and references in his magical writings as well. One such reference was used to explain how a person cannot readily change their path throughout life, and how inertia plays a very important role in continuing the established directional path and momentum. There are no standards of right. Ethics is balderdash. Each star must move on its own orbit. To hell with moral principle. There is no such thing. Aleister Crowley. So, I have pointed out some facts and observations of Aleister Crowley, some good and some not so good. To me, he is truly a pioneer that was perhaps a few generations ahead of his time. I read and study his works from time to time, and I do appreciate his dedication to his craft. His entire life reads like a grimoire of magic experimentation, excess, and theories tried and proven. Because Crowley was a searcher, and searchers like him documented so much, so well, we are able to take advantage of his and others like him, which allow us to be light years ahead of where we would be had he never written even a single article about magic. We should recognize the advantages that we have and the knowledge passed down to us by Crowley. His efforts of being totally uninhibited have allowed seekers to pick up where he left off in the never-ending quest for increased magical knowledge. We are better magicians, seekers, followers, practitioners, and ultimately more powerful because of this man. Yes, he was eccentric, and his approach to the magical arts was unorthodox, and at times stomach-turning as well. However, he blazed the path into history, and for his efforts and sharing of his art form, we are better for having access to his writings and privileged to perform some of the same workings that he not only practiced but actually created. Aleister Crowley will live forever, and his words will be shared for all eternity, which is something he could only dream of in his life. As I write this post, I feel that Aleister is out there somewhere listening and reading my words, and I can only hope that I have supplied an adequate and fitting tribute to his name and his memory. If I have accomplished that task, I will have accomplished my objective and the reason for writing this post. P.S. Evidence points to the very real possibility that Aleister Crowley was the true father of Barbara Bush, the former First Lady and mother to George W. Bush. That is, however, a topic for another day. Visit my website at www.aleisternacht.com